Alright, so it's about 8 in the morning. We got up at about 3 this morning to try a morning session. We almost froze to death, but it's nice to have a bit of sun and warm up. And we're just about to finish week 2 in Cameroon 2020. Yeah. And then, first things first, we'll just ask Brent a few questions and see what answers he has for us. We've been hosted in the southern concession, which is upstream, by the Vanier family. And Brent, can you tell us a bit about the Vaniers, how long they've all been here, and what the camp's like?
Yeah, such a lovely family to host us here in Cameroon at this area or concession. I think they provide everything we need, and the service is really amazing for somewhere as remote as this place. So I think that's very, very cool. And I think it's Xavier's 4th generation in the concession. So it's an amazing history, and if you go through their coffee books and gain a little insight into the family. But I think such an amazing place, and the lodge is run really, really nicely. I mean, it's quite funny to be a guide and be waited on hand and foot almost. I think that from that perspective, and fishing this remotely, it couldn't be more comfortable. So I think it's been such a pleasure being accommodated by them for the week. So really looking forward to the rest of the season.
I think we got to where I was saying this, after your brief injury, this would be your first proper week of guiding in Cameroon, and any highlights or special things to take away?
I think it was just the feeling you get at night, waiting for the guys to get stuck into a big perch is pretty special. It's got an eerie yet very cool feeling about it, because you can't really see what you're doing, but then all hell breaks loose when the lights turn on and the fish are on. So that's very, very exciting. And then I just think, going to each place every day is like a mini new adventure. Nothing looks the same, everything's different, the water's different. That's really special, and just the amount of wildlife and proximity that you within everything is just it's a fascinating place to be in. So just being out here in itself is for me very special.
Nice. Let's talk about the fishing this week, just a little, 30 seconds. How was it all?
It was, I think, a little bit challenging this week. We had, compared to last week, a bit lower down. I think the moon wasn't fully ideal, but we had some nights that were just full of action. One of the nights was probably the craziest night I've seen so far.
We landed six
fish in one night, and we lost a couple more. So you never know in this place, and there's still a lot of things to figure out with the basic formulas, or the formulas that have already been worked out. So I think it's a very cool place to learn new things, and I think this week was one of those weeks where there's so much room for things to be figured out. So it's pretty special.
Nice. Something that I don't think many people know is the variety of very special birds we can see here. Do you want to list a few, what people would consider lifers? Maybe that blue flycatcher at the other camp.
That's the blue flycatcher is definitely one. Yesterday we saw those northern Cameroon bee eaters.
Very beautiful.
Amazing birds. The Egyptian plover is one. There's a lot of poles fishing owls everywhere. What else?
Oh, that's fine.
That's a pretty good start, I guess.
And then last night we went to bed at a sensible hour, probably about 10. And we knew we'd wake up at about 3, but for some reason Brent felt necessary to wake me up at 1. Do you care to elaborate?
So there's one of those times where you have to go to the bathroom after a couple of beers, I guess, and in my groggy state, thought it would be better to go outside, as men do, and thought I'd cover the area with my flashlight and noticed there was a big beast behind me, so I did a quick sprint into the room, because there was a large hippo on its nightly wander, and I had to just wake up and tell Stu, but he was a little bit displeased.
Very uninterested in your nightly activity.
Yeah, so that was a good little heart raiser for the evening, but yeah, very fun.
Right, lekker. Yeah, and then in conclusion, I suppose, tonight will be the last session. We're hoping to get a few more perch, and tomorrow morning we'll be shooting back down to the northern concession, our fly camp there, for another week of fishing. Stay
Awesome.
tuned.